Last weekend, Susan Sarandon, a symbol of things great about American cinema, was celebrated for a lifetime achievement as an actress in Kungsträdgården in Stockholm.
Thank you very much for this incredibly heavy award. This is the heaviest award I've ever received.
As it recognizes North America's importance to the film industry, Stockholm Film Festival takes pride in celebrating world cinema in categories such as Asian images and Latin visions.
Mira, yo sé por qué vos quieres hacer este viaje, pero todavía no sé por qué yo tengo que hacerlo.
She was taking a chance to find a better life.
Aquí no hay nada para vos, Aira. Nada.
It's mainly about a kid in this gang called the Mara Salvatrucha, who's sick of that life. He's trying to get out, and he crosses paths with this girl from Honduras who is traveling with her father across Mexico on top of freight trains, and ends up saving her life, and because of what he does, has to go on the run with her, and he helps her get to the U.S. border.
He was caught up in a world of brutality.
I learned that Central Americans who were trying to get to the United States were crossing Mexico in extremely dangerous ways, and it turned out that the most dangerous part of their journey wasn't the U.S. border, it was Mexico itself. And one of the images I read about were hundreds of people riding on top of freight trains.
Gracias.
The story is quite simple. Story about mother and son relationship. Our main female character desperately trying to save her son by herself. The mother became detective herself.
그 시체 근처에서 발견됐어요? 생각이 잘 안 나.
너 알잖아. 우리 도준이 물방개 한 마리도 못 죽인다는 거.
It's a film about a woman who's really lost, about someone who doesn't know what's good or bad, who doesn't have an ethic code.
I have a couple of wines here. It's a very sensual wine.
Sensual?
In the 70s in Japan, there was this generation of it was women who were daughters of yakuza. So they were young girls who had been raised in a world where their parents kill for a living, and for them that was a way of living.
娘が死んだ世界など想像もできない。それなのにあの男は平気で生き続けている。
ここにお金と情報が。
はい。
Daniel and Anna are brother and sister, and they're kidnapped and forced to have sexual relationships. That's just the beginning of the film. The rest of the film, and what's really interesting to me, it's if they will be able to go on with their lives or not.
You know, there's not really a message in the film. I think, if anything, if they feel a little bit of empathy for characters that they have nothing in common with, then I've achieved something.
Yes, it's true. Mexico, we have a lot of social problems. But and I think a big difference that actually in Swedish films it's a lot more about the person itself and psychology and drama, and and I think that's amazing. That's what I really love. I love that kind of filmmaking more about the person.
그랬거든요.
Every movies in the world deal with the human being and human conditions. In that aspect, every movie is similar, I think. But the mood and feeling and nuance is all different. That's why this kind of international festival exists. So we can we can experience each other's country's movies.
It's my first film, and I want to make as many films as possible. So if the awards help me make more films, that's the best part. You have a lot, I think when you're directing, you have a lot of people who come up to you and ask you questions. And even if you don't know the answer, you just have to pretend you do and give someone an answer so they can go off and do whatever they're doing for their department. So it's a lot of just like pretending like you know what you're doing, even if you don't.
There was this 78-year-old lady who came up to me after the screening of the opening of Map of the Sounds of Tokyo. And she told me an amazing thing. She told me, you know what? I'm 78 and I don't have libido anymore, but watching your film, I felt like, oh, I want to make love again. And you know, I think that was the nicest compliment someone has told me about the film.
I think Asian movie, especially Korean movie, is very, very hard and emotional. I hope the Nordic European audience can enjoy that kind of strong emotions.